The pool deck still glistened from the morning's rain when my brother Marcus decided his birthday party needed a little more excitement. I noticed him heading my way with that familiar expression, the one that always came before something painful, disguised as fun. At 22, I should have been able to defend myself against my 24-year-old brother, but years of being dismissed as too sensitive or overly dramatic had taught me that fighting back only made things worse. Birthday boy wants to show off his wrestling moves. Marcus shouted to his friends, grinning. They laughed. Phones already out to record whatever was coming. My stomach nodded. His wrestling moves had never been playful, though our parents spent years convincing everyone that I just didn't know how to take a joke. Marcus, please, not today, I said, inching away from the pool's edge. I'm still in my work clothes. Work clothes. He sneered. You mean that sad little retail uniform? Don't be such a killjoy, Eli. It's my birthday. I started toward the house, but his hand shot out, clamping around my arm. His grip was merciless, his fingers pressing into my skin with practiced cruelty. His friend hollered, thinking they were watching harmless sibling rivalry. Marcus, you're hurting me, I murmured, trying not to draw a bigger audience. I'd learned the hard way that complaining in public only led to worse consequences later. Hurting you? He gave that icy laugh I'd heard all through childhood. I haven't even started yet. Remember the airplane spin? My chest tightened. The airplane spin was what he called it when he gripped my wrists, whirled me around until I was dizzy and disoriented, then let go. As kids, it had ended with skinned knees and bruises. But now we were adults, and standing next to a concrete pool deck. No! I tried to pull free, but he was already spinning me. Laughter erupted around us. Phones kept filming. To them, it looked like innocent fun. To me, the world blurred into streaks of color and sound. From the patio, I heard my mother's voice. Oh, they're at it again. Boys will be boys. Then he released me. Everything slowed. One of his friend's smiles faltered as they realized my trajectory, straight toward the concrete steps leading down from the deck. I twisted, desperate to brace myself, but the momentum and dizziness betrayed me. My lower back slammed into the top step with a sickening crack that seemed to echo across the yard. Pain like lightning shot through my body, then nothing, no feeling in my legs, no sensation below my waist. I lay at the bottom of the steps, my upper body twisted awkwardly, my legs limp and unresponsive. For a moment, the party went silent. Then Marcus's laughter sliced through the air. Dude, that was epic. Did anyone get that on video? He high-fived someone before glancing down at me. Get up, drama queen. The ground can't be that comfy. I can't. I whispered, panic flooded my voice. Marcus, I can't move my legs. Oh, here we go. My father's voice boomed as he approached. Every time we have a party, Eli has to make it about himself. Get up. Dad, I can't move my legs, I repeated, louder now. Tears blurred my vision. Part pain, part fear. Something's really wrong. Walk it off. Stop being a baby, he barked, his face tight with embarrassment. You're humiliating us in front of guests. My mother appeared, wine glass in hand. Irritation etched across her face. Eli, quit being dramatic. You're ruining Marcus's birthday. He only turns 24 once. I can't feel my legs. I screamed, my terror finally breaking through the numbness in the crowd. Silence fell. Marcus nudged me with his foot. Come on, get up. Joke's over. That's when Sarah, one of Marcus's friends and a nursing student, pushed through the circle. Wait, don't touch him. She knelt beside me, her expression grave. Eli, can you feel this? She pressed her fingers against one leg. Nothing. Then the other. Still nothing. Her face went pale. Nobody move him. Where's your phone? We need to call 911 now. Oh, come on. My father began, but Sarah cut him off sharply. Sir, he could have a spinal injury. If you move him, you could make the injury permanent, Sarah warned, already pulling out her phone. This is Sarah Kim, she said quickly into the receiver. I need an ambulance at 452 Maple Drive. Possible spinal injury from a fall. "This is absurd," my mother muttered, her words slightly slurred. "He's fine. He always does this to get attention." But I wasn't fine. I lay on the cold concrete, half my body lifeless, while my parents grumbled about the scene I was supposedly causing. Marcus had gone strangely quiet. His friends huddled together, murmuring among themselves, some still holding up their phones to record. The ambulance arrived in minutes, though it felt like hours. The lead paramedic, a woman with calm eyes and steady movements, knelt beside me and took control immediately. "Sir, can you tell me what happened?" she asked. My brother spun me around and threw me into the concrete steps. I replied, my voice trembling, "I can't feel my legs." "He's exaggerating." My father cut in. "They were just playing." The paramedic ignored him. "Can you try to wiggle your toes?" I tried. Nothing. No twitch, no movement. Her brief glance toward her partner made my stomach drop. They eased me onto a backboard with deliberate care. Then I heard her speak into her radio. "Unit 47, requesting police assistance at our location. Possible assault resulting in paralysis." "Assault?" my mother shrieked. "This is our home. He just fell." "Ma'am," the paramedic said firmly. "The patient stated he was thrown. Given the severity of his injury and how it happened, we're required to report it." Police arrived as I was being loaded into the ambulance. I could hear my father's raised voice, insisting it was just a family thing, an accident, boys being boys. But Sarah, God bless her, was already speaking to an officer, and several party guests were showing videos they'd taken. At the hospital, everything blurred into a rush of movement. Dr. Patterson, the ER physician, studied me with the same steady compassion I'd seen in the paramedic's eyes. "Eli, I need you to be completely honest," she said. "Has your brother ever hurt you before?" That question cracked something inside me. Years of being dismissed as overreacting, dramatic. Even dishonest came pouring out. "Yes," I choked out through tears. "But my parents always said I was just making a big deal out of nothing." She nodded, scribbling notes. "We'll take excellent care of you, but first we need an MRI to understand exactly what's going on." When the results came back, they brought another doctor, a neurosurgeon named Dr. Williams. Both of them wore grave expressions. "Lie," Dr. Williams began gently. "Your MRI shows a fracture at your L2 vertebra with spinal cord compression. But that's not the only thing we found." He pulled up the images on the screen. "You have multiple old compression fractures at different stages of healing, T7, T11, and L4. These aren't from today. Some are months old, others possibly years." "Old fractures?" I echoed, stunned. Dr. Patterson explained, "These injuries happened at different times. They weren't treated when they occurred." She met my eyes. "Has your brother been physically aggressive toward you for a long time?" I thought back to every so-called prank over the years. Being shoved downstairs, "You're so clumsy." Slammed to the ground during play fights. "Boys will be boys." Hurled off the trampoline. "Stop being a baby." Each time, my back had ached for weeks, but my parents never took me to a doctor. They insisted I was just being dramatic. "Yes," I whispered, "since we were kids." About an hour later, Detective Morrison walked in. She was thorough, professional, and, for the first time in my life, I felt someone truly believe me. "The footage from the party clearly shows your brother deliberately throwing you toward those steps," Detective Morrison told me. "When we combine that with the medical findings of repeated injuries, it points to an ongoing pattern of assault." I turned to Dr. Williams. "Will I walk again?" "With surgery and months of focused rehabilitation, we're optimistic," he replied. Then his expression hardened. "But, Eli, if you followed your parents' advice and tried to walk it off, you could have been permanently paralyzed." That night, both of my parents were taken into custody. Their charges: child endangerment and failure to provide medical care. In our state, knowingly allowing repeated abuse and denying treatment, especially when it causes serious harm, is a felony. Marcus was arrested for aggravated assault. The videos from his own birthday party, meant to capture a funny moment, instead became undeniable proof of an intentional attack that left me with a spinal injury. My extended family fractured in the fallout. Some stood by my parents, insisting it was a misunderstanding and that I was blowing things out of proportion, as it always claimed. Others, like my Aunt Linda, finally spoke up. "I always worried about you," she confessed during a hospital visit. "The way they brushed off your injuries, the way Marcus seemed to enjoy hurting you. But your parents always had a neat explanation, and they made it sound believable. The surgery to stabilize my spine succeeded, but recovery was grueling. 6 months of physical therapy just to walk again, and a constant battle with the psychological scars left by years of abuse. My therapist, Dr. Garcia, helped me recognize something I'd never named before: gaslighting. They trained you to question your own pain," she explained, "to doubt your memories. That's why you didn't reach out for help sooner." During the trial, the prosecution displayed my MRI scans to the jury. Dr. Williams explained each old fracture, detailing how much pain each one would have caused, and that they all required medical attention that I never received. The prosecutor asked him what happens to a child who suffers repeated, untreated injuries. "They learn to live with constant pain," he said, "and they absorb the message that their suffering doesn't matter. That is, in effect, a form of torture." My parents' defense attorney tried to portray me as a clumsy kid prone to accidents, but the video evidence from Marcus's party destroyed that narrative. You could see him gauging the distance, see the calculated release aimed directly at the concrete steps, and hear my parents dismissing my paralysis as attention-seeking. Marcus was sentenced to 5 years in prison for aggravated assault. My parents each received 3 years for child endangerment and criminal neglect. The judge's words still echo in my mind. Parents have a fundamental duty to protect their children and to provide medical care. You not only failed in that duty, you actively enabled and concealed ongoing abuse. It's been 2 years since then. I can walk again, though I live with lingering pain and certain limitations. I have my own apartment now, work as a patient advocate at the same hospital where I was treated, and speak at conferences on identifying abuse in medical settings. Marcus sent me one letter from prison, not an apology, but a list of complaints about how I'd ruined his life. I never replied. My parents, released early for good behavior, tried to reach me through relatives, claiming they'd been misunderstood, that they were only trying to toughen me up. But I've learned that toughening up shouldn't involve spinal fractures, that boys will be boys should never end with paralysis, and that being labeled dramatic should not prevent someone from receiving medical care. Those MRI scans remain in my medical file, but they represent far more than injury. They are proof that I wasn't crazy, oversensitive, or lying. Proof that sometimes the people who should protect you are the ones inflicting the deepest wounds. Sarah, the nursing student who called 911, is now a registered nurse. We've stayed in touch. She told me my case changed the way she approaches her work. "I always listen now," she said. "If someone says they're hurt, I believe them. That was all I ever wanted, to be believed. It took paralysis and medical images to finally get that validation. But now I use my voice so others won't have to wait as long. Because no one should have to prove their pain with broken vertebrae. No one should be told to walk it off when they can't walk at all. The truth, captured in those black and white MRI images, is what finally set me free.